when we obviously see that Messiah sent people out to, sent the 12 out to the nations. All right, so we see contradiction here. Okay, Matthew 24:23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, there is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall rise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Now remember, Paul says an apostle is one that shows great signs and wonders. Okay, so watch this. All right, so for there, Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. And so much that if for it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. 26, verse 26. Matthew 24, verse 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. Okay, Acts chapter 9:8. And Saul arose from the earth, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no man, but they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. Okay, the men that was with Paul led him into the city, stating that he was outside of the city when his conversion happened. So let's see where Paul was exactly. And this is another question that we need to ask ourselves. Okay, if there were so many people there with Paul, why there's no other witness testimonies of this conversion? When all things according to Messiah and according to the Torah, the character of Messiah and the character of Torah states that all things must be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. Okay, so if Paul had so many people there with him, where are the other witnesses? Okay, but that's another question that we need to ask ourselves. Okay, the New International Version Study Bible calls Damascus an oasis. The Webster's Dictionary defines an oasis to be a fertile place in the desert. So when Paul claimed to see Messiah, he was in the desert. Messiah that just says that if they tell you I'm in the desert, don't listen. Don't go forth. Okay, it just so happens that not too long after Messiah says this, here comes this brother receiving his conversion in the desert with no witnesses. Alright? Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm really okay. You know what? I don't wanna do that. I was gonna. Alright, let's do that. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, Messiah tells us he can't. Okay. In John 5:31, he states, if I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. Messiah tells us he can't bear witness of himself because it would not be true. Alright, now let's read John 8, chapter 8, verse 13, all the way down to verse 18. Okay? The Pharisees therefore said unto him, thou bearest record of thyself, thy record is not true. Yeshua answered and said unto them, though I bear record of myself, yet my record is true. For I know whence I came and whither I go. But ye cannot tell whence I come and whither I go. And yet, if I judge, my judgment is true. For I am not alone, but I am the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of 2 men is true. Here we go again. Okay, now let's be clear. When Messiah says it is written in your law, he's not saying that his law is different from anyone else's, from ours. Messiah is the lawgiver. So when he gave us the law, he expects us to grab a hold on that thing. You see what I'm saying? Claim it like it's ours. And this is why Messiah says, for it says in your law. Okay, it's not talking about the Messiah that they have a different law than Messiah, or we have a different law than Messiah. Messiah gave us the law, the instructions, and the teachings. Okay, John chapter 8, verse 18. I am that one that bears witness of myself, and the Father that sent me bears witness of me. Okay, so let's get to the deeper matter of these words before confusion sets in. Okay, and we claim that Messiah is contradicting himself or something. Okay, first Messiah stated that he can't bear witness of himself. Then he says, though I bear witness of myself, it is true. Okay, what Messiah is stating here is that I can't bear witness of myself because it would not be true. But I can bear witness of myself because the Father bears witness of me. Okay? Then he goes further to quote the law. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. So throughout Scripture, from Moses on down to the New Testament, Messiah is spoken of. Okay? On what he will do, what will happen to him. Okay? So this is Messiah bearing witness of himself with his Father, and the rest of Scripture bearing witness of him also. Okay? Something that he would not be able to do on, if he wasn't written in Scripture, if he wasn't spoken about in Scripture. Paul is nowhere spoken about. Nowhere. Messiah doesn't say he's coming. Messiah says he was sending the Comforter. Are we to say that Paul is the Comforter that Messiah was going to send? No. I don't think so. Okay? So, now let's do the comparisons to Paul's teaching. Okay? 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. This is the third time I am coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. Okay? 13 verse 2. I told you before and foretell you, as if I were present the second time. And being absent now, I write to them which heretofore have sinned, and to all other that if I come again, I will not spare. Now listen to this. Listen to this, brothers and sisters. When we read this, we may get confused, and because Paul does his philosophical, poetic stuff, throwing words all over the place, okay? Okay. What Paul is saying here, this is the third time that I'm coming to you. I came to you 3 times. This is the third time I'm coming to you, okay? I told you before, and I'm telling you again, if I were here, if I were there, excuse me, as if I were there with you the second time. Okay? This is Paul's idea of a second witness. Okay? Then he goes further to say that he is writing to the sinner, and when he comes again, he won't spare them. Okay? Now let's look up this word spare. Spare to abstain or to treat leniently. So Paul is telling us the next time I come, I'm not going to treat you leniently. Okay? Okay. So, where we are? Okay. So, let's go to Galatians 1:1. Paul, an apostle, not of men, neither by men, but by Yeshua Messiah and Elohim, the Father who raised him from the dead. Okay? So, now we have to ask ourselves here, okay? We must ask this question. Okay? So y'all may answer thus far receiving a greater understanding. Why is Paul telling us he is an apostle by Yeshua and the Father and not by men? Okay? The reason he's doing this is because he knows and understands the passing down of authority. Okay? This is why he is compelled to make this statement. Okay? He needs to let us know, look, listen, I didn't need nothing from those men. If Paul was to be teaching and taking on apostleship, the authority had to come from the 12. Okay, so here he tells us, I don't need the authority from 12. But then later on he tells us that, he went to the 12 and they gave me the right hand of fellowship. So which one is it? Do you need their right hand of fellowship or do you not? Okay, so, excuse me. Okay. 2 Corinthians 11:5. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostle. Alright, so who is the very chiefest apostle? Alright, now let's look up this word, not a whit. Alright, not a whit is nobody, no one, or nothing. For I suppose I was nothing behind the very chiefest apostle. So we're seeing here that this is not, this is not harmonious. The 12 were not harmonious with Paul. We even see James later on. The very same words that Paul uses in his doctrine, James tackles the very same words verbatim. Okay, James says, "Oh, you vain man! I'll show you my faith by my works." you know, faith without works is dead.